Episode 25. Oh, you. Episode 24.
24?
Fran and Carlo.
Do I keep skipping weeks or something? Recording in progress.
Recording in progress. Last week was
Recording in
23 because it was the
progress.
Michael Jordan edition.
It was, and then
And
it's episode 45 will be the Michael Jordan edition, take two.
that's right. And since this is episode 24, we could technically call this the Kobe Bryant edition
We
because
could.
he wore number 24.
Yeah.
And that's
That
where we
just
should
made me
end
think
because
of
he had a very tragic end.
what's that meat from Japan? You know, the steak, the very fatty steak. What's that called?
Wagyu?
Yeah, why did I think?
You thought 24 had something to do with Wagyu?
No, Kobe Bryant. I thought it was the similar word.
Oh, you're thinking of Kobe beef.
Yes.
Yes.
So I came
And
up with a really fun game. I didn't come up with a really fun game. Me and Dustin played a really fun game before we came out to World's Toughest Mudder, and I said to you that we had to play it, and we never got round to, despite spending 7 days together. He's really struggling to hear me. Despite
Okay.
spending 7 days together, we didn't play it. And it's basically just you say one word and someone says another word, and then that relates to them. And see how
Ooh.
far you get.
Okay.
Maybe we should do that in Thoughts on Things for like a minute.
Maybe if I can hear you.
Maybe you should wear headphones because I can't be loud. Wow, I've got my bigger camera on and it's not flattering. It's the end of
Oh,
the
did we
day
ditch the
today.
idea of using your iPhone?
No, that is my iPhone. It's
Oh.
clearer. So you can see more of my imperfections.
I don't. Oh, stop it. We're our own worst critic. I don't see anything. I mean, I see your face, but
You don't see anything. I'm a blank space. I am nothing to you.
oh, here we go. Hey, do you know about the tragedy of Kobe Bryant, right? Do you follow who he was and what
Was it a
happened and all that?
helicopter?
Yeah. Like not
Helicopters
height
have
of
a
his
lot of
career, he was getting a
crashes.
little older, but yeah, still had years left and was still quite good and Olympic player and everything else. And then anyway, so a couple things I wanted to get to community news. Granted, by the time this airs, we're going to be about halfway through it. But if you're following along with the OCR report on Instagram, you'll know that the 12 Ks of Christmas,
You actually needed to put your glasses on to read that.
I need to read my notes.
You are
Yes.
so cute.
My notes are on a notepad on my computer, and my eyeballs, they're a sliding away. on the near side of stuff. I can see stuff far away forever still. But yes. So hopefully a lot of you have already been playing along, and according to the Instagram posts.
How do we play along with this?
Well, I will tell you. It
Thank
started
you.
on December 1st. And let's see if you can pick up the pattern here. On December
not.
1st, you're supposed to run a
Or
1K. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
That was easy. That was point.
Is
6
that a
miles.
freedom mile?
I don't know what freedom miles are anymore, Fran. It's all a changing. On day 2, you run a 2K. Day 3, 3K, etc. For the first,
Seems like a
What?
tricky pattern. I'm not sure if I can work this out.
I bet you could do it.
Do you know what I was surprised by? How many Ks that adds up to in 12 days?
How many what?
Ks it adds up to?
Yes. Yes.
I actually did the math because I was like, that sounds like a lot of kilometers.
Well, it's 12.
No,
Oh,
I
you mean
if
like
you add every single
cumulatively?
day yes. That's what
Oh,
adding
yes.
up means.
So like if you're playing along, since today is Friday, today is day 6. So yeah, you got to go out and run a 6K. Since technically we're recording this on a different day, I'm only running a 3K today. But by the time you see this, 6K.
So I really want to take part, and I on the day that it was the 3K, I have not taken part. I'll tell you for why. Shall I tell you for why? It is
You should.
dark. It is dark at 4 o'clock.
Do you have a treadmill?
No, I don't have a treadmill.
Okay. I don't either. Some people do.
Okay, I have a very small house and very little space.
Can you jog in place?
But that wouldn't cover 3K.
I mean,
How would I know
figure
where
out how
to
many
go to?
steps equals a 3K and then just
Anyway, I was with clients all day and I'm snoozy, and that was a good enough excuse for me.
how about this?
Yeah.
You might not remember this, but in 2020, they had everything was locked down. They had a virtual Toughest Mudder, the 12K.
Mm.
Remember hearing about the woman who, because she was on lockdown in the UK, she literally ran up her hallway to her bedroom and back down to her kitchen for 12 hours. She figured out how many down and backs equaled out a mile, and she just kept doing it till she hit 5 miles. She'd stop, she'd do the physical challenge, and she videotaped herself. And Will had her on the podcast like the following week.
That sounds like the worst thing ever.
She got 50 miles, I believe.
No, not a fan.
Running up and down her not very long hallway.
Not a fan. That sounds horrible.
I forget her name. Libby? Not Libby. Oh, I get all my Libby's the other girl from the UK. I'm sure there's many, but very soft-spoken girl. I think she might actually be from Scotland. Anyway.
Okay. It's really impressive. When I say not a fan, I don't mean not a fan of her. I mean not a fan of the concept and the commitment.
Yeah, no, of course. I didn't for a second think you weren't a fan of her.
Don't know.
You don't know who she is. She was very nice.
I just poured water for myself.
12Ks of Christmas. Hopefully you're taking part. If you're not, jump in late. I saw Gary Andrews ran like 20 miles on day one. I'm like, dude, you're doing it backwards.
It adds up to 78K over 12 days.
Is that what it comes out to?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The amount of kilometers it adds up to is astonishing.
I'm going to feel pretty accomplished then. Because honestly, I haven't done much this week other than the 1K and the 2K. And I'll do a 3K today. Yeah. Everybody shut up. I'm doing fine.
I'm going to do as much as I can. I know I'm not going to get any done this weekend.
I'm not getting fat. Why do you guys keep saying that? Oh, that's my brain. Sorry. That's my brain saying that.
Getting so fat.
My brain. Other community news. Now, I don't know if you know. Do you know who Whitney Tilson is? Whitney Tilson is we'll call him a masters athlete in the WTM community. He is I've met him a couple times. Really interesting guy. Lives up in the Northeast. Well, lives in New York. In New York? Yes. Very, very politically active man. I think he might be one of the only, him and I think,
Kobe Bryant.
Not Kobe Bryant. No, but he's one of the oldest people, I believe. No disrespect. One of the oldest people, I believe, to ever get a silver bib at World's Toughest Mudder.
Impressive.
He got it a number of years ago. The important thing is he is running for mayor of New York City.
Of New York City?
Of New York City. When I say he's kind of involved in politics, he's really involved in politics.
Who's the guy who used to be the mayor of New York City?
Well, they had a few.
Well, the really famous one.
Rudy Giuliani?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the job that he would be going for?
Yes, that's the job he'd be going for. Yeah.
Well,
like the mayor of one of the most popular cities, popular being, whatever, but most well-known, the Big Apple, as they say.
I know what the state capital of New York is.
Home of the Rangers and the Yankees and even the Mets, but no one talks about
the Mets suck.
The Metropolitan. We did a whole bit on the Metropolitans and their colors. Remember back in episode?
No.
Back when we didn't know at all we were doing. Now we only kind of know.
I just told you that I know what the state capital of New York is.
The capital of New York?
State capital of New York.
Yes. Do you know the capital city of New York?
New York. What? The state capital of the state of New York.
The capital city, like the name of the city that's the capital of New York.
Albany.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you know that? That's a tough one. Really, if you don't
test me.
Oh, we went over this. You do know a decent amount of capitals.
I'm learning them.
North Dakota.
Shit, I don't know that one.
Wait, it's Pierre.
Yes, I did know that one because it's Pierre.
Yeah, I don't know why it's Pierre. I had to learn this in 5th grade.
I know that it's Pierre because reasons. Give me another one.
California.
Sacramento.
Oh, I threw you because most people think Los Angeles or something.
No, give me another one.
No.
Give me another one.
We want to have our capital be a place no one wants to go. So we're doing Sacramento, Florida.
Tallahassee.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. Give me another one.
Like the most redneck part of, well, not the most redneck. Oh boy, this is how we're opening strong here.
Let's do 2 more.
2 more. Okay. Oklahoma. This is the dead air portion of.
Oh, I do know.
Is it Norman? Siri.
No, it's not Norman.
What's the capital of Oklahoma? Oh, Oklahoma City. I should have actually known that. All right,
Okay.
let's talk about their neighbor, Nebraska.
Lincoln.
Yeah, I think that's right. Siri, what's the capital of Nebraska? You got it.
Next
So
week,
I
you can try
wonder
me on
now,
another 4.
when I talk to Siri on my thing, will people listening to the podcast, will it like, does it have to
I
be
couldn't
tuned to
hear
their
her.
voice?
Oh, maybe. Didn't talk
Well,
to
we'll find
mine.
out. Oh, one more thing. Do you have community news? Because I wanted to mention one more thing.
I've got race results, but I don't
Yes,
think
it's a
I've
light
got.
show. It's a light show today, which
I don't think I've
which
got
means
any
we could do
community
things
news.
like we could say, "Hi, Chris Rogloski," because she listens to the show.
Hi, Chris Rogowski. She lives in
She's probably running
Colorado,
with
and the
Jack right
state
now.
capital is Denver.
The what?
State capital of Colorado is Denver.
It is. You're right.
I'm so excited with myself.
So one,
Hi,
I
Chris
went through the
Rogowski.
community. What?
Hi,
Jeez.
Chris Rogowski.
Oh, you say hello. So
I talked about her on the coverage this weekend, even though she wasn't there.
I watched some of the coverage. The race was over by then, but I went back and watched it because I thought it was interesting.
Okay,
Oh
let's talk
no.
about what it was you were going to talk about. Then let's talk about the coverage.
Yes. So I saw this post and I saw you commented on it. So you may have a little say. And these those kind of posts where I'm like, man, I hope this isn't real. I hope someone's just like
Mm,
taking a piss, but as
mm,
they say in the UK. But someone anonymously posted in the World's Toughest Smudder group, and they had
mm.
a gripe.
World's toughest
And
mudder
this person
gripe.
says, "So my boyfriend just said my son was raised by wimps, meaning me, and I only run 24-hour races to prove that I'm not a wimp. Do I have the group's permission to break up with him? I've been proving my non-wimpiness since 2011." By the way, 2011 means they were doing World's Toughest Mudder in New Jersey. Whoever this person is an OG. And
Is it you?
first off, if you're with someone that negative
If you're
and you've
with
been with
someone
them
who
since
says
2011,
anything negative about your children, and I don't mean in a, oh, they've been a bit naughty kind of way, as in anything that's just sensible parenting. Anyone who says anything actually negative, you break up with them immediately.
time to bounce.
Time to bounce, babe.
Yeah, I don't. I would. Yeah, I would have a problem with. I've never really had anybody who I dated who had anything particularly negative to say about my children. Of
Mm,
course, for a long time, you don't get to be around my children when we're dating because
mm.
that's not how that works. But yeah, I think that's pretty much that'd be grounds for like, what's your point? I don't understand. Like,
I think
and just the
maybe
whole raised by
I think
wimps thing in general speaks to a whole different.
I mean, I assume the person posting that just wanted to be able to vent to people who
Yeah,
understood rather
I
than
think you're
actually
right.
asking permission because obviously they know and maybe just needed a bit of validation, and that's totally cool.
I,
Um, there was a
yeah,
comment in there though that I responded to and nobody answered me, and the comment was very supportive of the poster, or the OP as they say on the internet, but
they
said
do.
tell him to take his purse on the way out or something like that. And I was like, internalized misogyny?
No, that was unnecessarily gendered.
Yeah, but men don't carry purses, so what are you trying to say?
Right. What are you trying to say? I'm not trying to say anything.
Well, I said, why would he have a purse? Because I'm
And they
assuming
didn't
what he's
reply because
saying
they were like,
is,
I ain't touching that.
I ain't touching that girl.
You done poked the Fran bear and you got Mama Bear all mad. I know better than do that.
Um,
And we've only hung out like a total of like 11 days in our life.
wait.
Well,
Eh,
7, 12,
yeah.
something
I
like
mean,
that.
virtually, we've hung out a lot more.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, but we've hung
We've
out
spent,
full time in that time. Like, I've got friends that I've known longer and been on like more dates with that I've spent less cumulative time with. That means all the time added up together, by
yep,
the way, like
I know what you
70,
mean.
80 kilometers.
But we're having more fun.
We are always having more fun.
Not as much fun as you had last week when you were on the
Oh my
show.
God. Yeah, I'd been out with a friend.
But I'll tell you what, um, how you respond when you've had maybe a couple cocktails or some wine
Some wine.
is a lot more. I would have been editing a lot more if I had been out like having a couple drinks and then
Oh, I'm
we
just more fun.
recorded this. Because I'd be like, let me tell you how I really feel about, and I'd be like,
You
oh
just be
no.
starting on people and punching them. I'm just more fun. I just
Yeah, that's a
loosen up
new
a bit.
thing. I don't know what that is.
Just excitement. You're just a child that gets
It
excited.
happened at the pub crawl, and it happened at my cousin's wedding that I was at about a month and a half ago, I guess. I was
Do
talking
you
with my
have
cousins at Thanksgiving this year, and they were like, dude, what was it? You were like in the, you kept saying like, dude,
let's go?
I kind of want to get into a fight, but with someone really selective, like smaller than me and not as strong. And so I know my limits. So even drunk me who wants to get into a fight is like, but not one that I could lose. Like I don't want to get my
Mm,
butt kicked.
I don't like this person very much.
I don't even know who this person. That's I got to be pretty far. Evidently, I got to get pretty far along before I start feeling that way. But you know what? That's community news.
That was the community
Get
news.
out and get your K's. You're running out of days. It's all been a haze.
Them's the ways
You're gonna be catching strays,
under the rays.
running through a maze.
Don't dress for the male gaze.
You win. Go ahead. That was very nice.
Yeah.
So there was one major event last week.
Mm-hmm.
You know about it very well because you were part of the broadcast team, which
We
was very fun. You have a very good for not being in the same room. I believe you and your broadcast partner had a really good chemistry. So
rapport is what they call it.
rapport.
Rapport.
Tell
We're
us
very good
about the
friends. We're
event.
very good friends. We've known each other since 2015
Very nice.
and getting very well, which really, really helps. And that's always something
It doesn't hurt.
it really does help. And he's also a racer himself. He used to do World Stuff Is Mudder and Spartans all around
Yep.
the US, and also a very, very intelligent man, which also really helps.
Having to pretend you like someone who's right next to you is not always the easiest thing in the world to do.
I know. I have to do it for about 3 hours a year at World Stuff Is Mudder.
Oh, is that when you and Jack have a conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of which, hold on. Someone who likes to complain about us forgetting about him has not sent me anything as of this moment. So,
okay. Well, we'll introduce it,
and
and
if it goes
I'll
to dead air,
pretend to be Jack. And if he sends something, then you can cut me out and put Jack in. Okay?
that's perfect.
Yeah.
So, reluctantly, here is the Jack Goris 30-second worldwide weather report. Take it away, Jack.
Well, it's cold outside, I would say. Using my logical thinking, I would say it's pretty cold because there's white stuff that's not cocaine, which is pretty disappointing. Who doesn't love some good cocaine? I mean, I'm not supposed to talk about cocaine on the podcast. Let's talk about snow that you sniff up your nose. It's pretty solid. But yeah, it's supposed to be cold today. It's pretty cold, if you ask me.
So there you
Jack,
go.
that was great. Well done.
I just texted him. I said, weather? And he texted back, cold. That's our boy. So, Fran, you were sort
Yes.
of in Abu Dhabi last week.
I was virtually in Abu Dhabi.
Yes. For the Spartan Beast World Championships.
Championships. Take it away from. So yeah,
us about
we did the coverage of the Spartan Beast World Championships. We did it remotely, which was interesting. First time we've done it. Well, it's not the first time we've done it remotely for the Spartan races, because the first couple we did, the commentators were remote but together. But today, this time we did it remote from home. Gave it a go, and it worked pretty darn well. I still prefer being on site. You get the atmosphere, you get to see the course, etc. But still, it worked really darn well. And yeah, it was a great race. Great race. It was the Spartan Beast World Championships in Abu Dhabi, hosted by the Abu Dhabi Sports Council. And also the Team World Championships happened that weekend. We did not do the coverage of that. But it was a really good race with a really, really, really deep field. Really deep field. And I pride myself on making wild guesses of who is going to win. And I think with the men, the first person I mentioned that I had my eyes on was obviously Gregory Basilico, because he's been storming it lately, and he took it away. Like spoiler alert, he had an incredible race. But it was still really exciting in the men. Like there's still really exciting. There was a lot of changes happening in the men. The double sandbag carry was wild, and even at the end, like with the spear throw, they brought back burpees, which was super cool because that made some changes.
That made a difference in the women's side.
With the women,
yep,
the top three, it was super exciting. It was the top. I'd say with both, it was probably, of all the Spartan championships that including like of all the races that I've worked on this year, actually, I'd say for both the men and the women was probably the most exciting in terms of like what's going to happen next. Oh my gosh, this is who's going to win here, and I enjoy that very much.
Me too.
So it was a really good race, and it was a really good deep field. Lots of Europeans. We had a couple of Americans, Canadian, Mexican, but a lot of really strong Euro athletes. And it was great. Really, really good race. I'm not going to say any more because I think people should go and watch the coverage. It's on Spartan.
Absolutely. Racing. How about you share with us the race results?
Oh yeah, I wasn't going to give anything away, but okay, I will. All right. So the race results.
At this point,
for the Spartan Beast World Championship in Abu Dhabi.
Let's go.
For the men, in first place was Gregory Basilico. In second place, Richard Hynek. And in third place, Thibaut Jean. Now, when you're watching the race, you'll be like, oh my gosh, but I saw so many different names pop up during the coverage. How is it they won? Well, go watch it and you will see. And in the women, in the first place was Elisa Petrova. Second place, Nicole Miracle, and third place, Susanna Kokomova, which is super, super exciting. Like Nicole's had a really, really strong year. Everything she's done, she smashed, but she was beaten by Elisa at Alula earlier in the year, which was also in the desert. And Elisa's also an incredible athlete. So it was really exciting to see them race together. There was a lot of really strong women. Esther Horta-Bagiova was there, but I don't really know much about what's going on with her because she doesn't talk a lot on social, but she's not been as prominent at races that she's been at as you would expect. So I'm assuming she may have had an injury or something this year. And also Ulrika Evanson, who I was expecting to be those 5 women I was expecting to be fighting for the top spot, but Ulrika and Esther were kind of and Ulrika ended up dropping out. She's been injured, and she posted afterwards it was just too soon for her to be coming back for a race that hard. And Nicole said she just bonked. She was a really tough race. She got halfway through and she just bonked. So she, not to take that away from Elisa, and that's no one is. It's not that Nicole and then Elisa like was super strong, and which is funny because there was an interview with her afterwards, and the whole race was saying she looks so strong and like look how confident she is. And then afterwards she was like, I didn't think I had it in me. I had cramps for so much.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And it's so interesting to see what people's perception are versus how they look and how they look like they're performing, because she just looked like she had it in the bag, and mentally she was finding it really tough, and physically she was finding it really tough. So well done to her. Well done to everyone. But
and I feel like we learned at the end, not that we don't already know this, but because it does look like there was the spear throw that was a little rushed.
Just watch the coverage for that. Watch the coverage. That was exciting.
Oh, we're not giving that away. Okay.
No.
I can get rid of that part.
No, it's okay. Just go watch the coverage, especially for the end, because exciting things happen at the end.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was kind of setting up like it was in Croatia, where you're like, we have multiple people in an area at the same time. This could be
really good race.
And you go, or you go, who knows what you do? It depends who you're pulling for.
Yeah, really good.
I just want to make sure everyone has a good time.
I'm pulling for everyone. I like everyone.
Yeah.
It's really tough because
my list of people I don't like, not very long.
Not very like. And with athletes, I'm happy for whoever wins because I like them all. And it sounds kind of, big fans of all of them. They're all fantastic.
Yeah, I'm with you. Do you have any more thoughts on the race before we?
No, it looked like a great weekend, and they should send me there next year because that and Sparta are the two I've not been to.
Yeah.
And Sparta, in fact, do you know what? I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
Ooh. Breaking news.
No, it's not breaking news.
Oh,
It's just my head.
dang it.
Because originally we were talking about doing the coverage for Sparta and it didn't happen. And Abu Dhabi shouldn't have been remote. Technically, we weren't going to do it remote. We were going to do it in person.
Yeah.
And I was really excited because I thought that would mean that I would go to every single Spartan race championship this year, including OCR, and WTM. And I didn't.
It was not meant to be.
But the only one I didn't work on was Trifecta Weekend, I guess.
There you go.
But still, I wanted to. I'm not going to.
I would have wanted. Who wouldn't have wanted
that many again?
Who wouldn't have wanted that? Let's talk about really quick upcoming races this weekend. What do we got?
So this weekend, a lot of athletes are heading to the Dubai World Obstacle Championship.
Dubai World Obstacle Championship.
World Obstacle Championship in Dubai. There's going to be a pretty good amount of athletes there. The usual suspects, lots of people who were at Abu Dhabi.
I mean, you're on that side of the world.
Over. And then, yeah, a few names. Did see a story pop up from not often heard from currently Ryland Shadday. He's decided to go there. He's been doing High Rocks. He's been traveling for High Rocks.
Yep.
And then just thought, heck it, I'll pop there on the way home. Which is pretty cool because he's not done OCR in quite a while.
I want to be able to just say heck it and pop over to the Middle East for a weekend. Just like, hey.
He was in, I want to say Hong Kong or something. And then he went to Thailand. Yeah, he works remotely though. Like, I don't know if you follow him. He trains athletes. So he can work remotely.
Of course I follow him. I only called him Ryan for like the first year that I knew him, but it's cool. Because let's be real, if you're gonna call someone something in OCR,
do you remember that T-shirt?
A name, just yell Ryan, and Rylan. You're gonna get the head turn of like half the crowd if you just yell Ryan. So
it's like shouting "Mom" at the park.
Yeah, right. Exactly. What? Oh, they all turn. And
so that's happening this weekend. And actually, I'm going to be honest, I don't know much more about it other than the fact it's happening. Like, I don't know the format or anything, but I'm sure I'll know next week. But it don't work for them.
And we'll have the results for it next week as well.
I guess we will if they post them. Often struggle with those brands, but let's see.
Let's see what happens. And then the following weekend, of course, December 13th to the 15th, OCR Report will be there live. That is the DECA World Championships in Ocala, Florida. Ocala or Ocala?
You're the American, I don't know. Ocala?
I say Ocala.
Ocala.
But I've also never had to say that word very often. So if I didn't know better, I'd say Ocala. And I don't know better. So that's what I'm saying. But that means we'll have Jason Dupree there.
Jason Dupree will be there.
Wait, so you have a 3-level flat or 3-level home?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
One of them.
So I remember sometimes you record from down in the basement, and now you're in what I think is the kitchen, and you just said he's coming downstairs, which would imply that you have space above you.
Yeah, a lot of houses in the north of the UK have cellars.
Oh, very nice. Keep your wine at a comfortable temperature.
Coal with coal.
Oh, from back in the day when you guys used to burn coal?
Yeah. Now I keep my wood down there and my office and my laundry room.
Very nice.
Thank you. Anyway,
you're welcome.
The DECA World Championship.
Okay, so unless you have anything else.
No, let's talk about DECA. Let's talk about DECA. DECA.
We did.
We barely mentioned it.
The DECA, it's 2 weeks away. We can talk about it next week too. But
okay, it's going to be great. But the OCR Report are already doing a lot of work. They're working very closely with DECA.
Yes.
They've just done a ton of names for the athletes, which I will say, there is, in case you haven't noticed, there's an account on Instagram called deca.europe. It's a fabulous Instagram account, and I think the person who runs it must be a bit of a sweetheart. So do a gal a solid and go check out the page and follow it. And they're going to have some pretty exciting news coming up soon, actually. So keep your eyes on that.
I'm sorry, did you say that page is called deca.europe?
I did.
Deca.europe is the page that people should check out. Deca.europe.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Even if you don't live in Europe, it's still a cool thing to follow because we have cool content.
I believe I do follow it.
Thank you. And other
Yeah.
people should too.
Sometimes I get excited when like if I post
talk to me?
something and then like Deca.Europe or maybe OCRWC like likes my post and I go, wow.
Well,
then
I'm
I
doing
go,
well. Oh,
then I
it's
go,
just
wait a
Fran.
minute. Wait a minute. I might just know somebody. That's here I'm thinking I'm like getting seen by some of the bigs in the industry. Not to say you're not, but and I'm like, it's just Fran. She took a break from TikTok and now she's where'd you go? Oh, was that were you protesting?
I'm
You can't even hear me.
back, but only because I couldn't hear what you were saying and I didn't like that. But
Oh, stop it. Huh. You just did the Miss Piggy flip
Yeah.
thing.
I love
Here
doing
comes the
that.
karate chop. Mm.
And then instead of saying Kermie, I always do Marge saying Homie. It wasn't very good. Homie. No, it wasn't very good. I can do it better than that. Anyway, let's talk.
I kept so I don't know if you saw this and I don't know why you would, but when we last spoke, you talked about we talked about we had things I had Thanksgiving coming up. And you were like, and we talked about French toast, and you were like, oh, you should try making bread and butter pudding. Well, Fran, I did. I did try.
How did that go?
It was fun. And I knew it was going to be an interesting experience. So I actually recorded a lot of it and I made a little YouTube video of it that's on my personal page. I think I've temporarily called it Cooking with Carlo. It's literally got one episode on it. But anyway, every time I used nutmeg, I kept finding myself going, shut up, Meg. From, was that Family Guy?
Family Guy.
I did it a couple times.
Nutmeg. Nutmeg's a really delicious spice. I put it in mashed potatoes.
Why?
It's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
You put butter, like vegan butter?
Vegan butter, nutritional yeast, which it is fortified with vitamins and minerals and is a complete protein and actually a very high protein for calories. I think it's.
You said vitamins. That's adorable.
Thank you. It's how I speak.
We use the long I over on this side of the pond. We call it vitamins.
Yeah, my daughter says vitamins because she watches too much YouTube.
Do you guys fight? Do you fight over it?
She does tell him off when he says yogurt instead of yogurt.
Yogurt instead of
yogurt.
Oh, first I thought you said yoga instead of yoga. And I thought that was funny too. Okay. Now we're just meandering here. I have two thoughts on things. And then we'll get out of here. This will be like our second not so long episode.
Well done us. We're getting better at doing this, probably because we're not doing 17,000 race results every week.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
This is not a thought on thing. When we come back after the holidays.
Oh, by the way, I'm taking a break over the holidays.
Yeah. I have like 18 days off and I'm like, and we're not going to be podcasting. We can talk about that. Will there be, when we come back after the first of the year, will that be season 2?
Guess so.
Because I've been calling on the podcast, I've been calling it season 1 episode, whatever, but.
Yeah, let's call it season 2.
We'll have to kick it off with a bang then, whatever that means. Thoughts on things. Here we go.
Yeah.
Question 1. Tell me some advice you've been given from your father that you still use today.
Oh, actually, I've got 2.
Okay.
I snuffed as if he's never given me any advice, but he gives me nothing but advice. Don't put your face near an unknown dog's face.
That's solid, actually. That's good.
And,
thanks, Dad.
Even when the sun is not out, as in behind clouds, it is still fierce and you can still get burnt, so you should wear sunscreen. And in fact,
that sounds like a light-skinned man told you that.
He's not a light-skinned man.
Oh, I am not either.
No, he's a very dark-skinned man. Yeah, not talking about you. Dustin just walked down the corner. No, which is very good advice, that the time when it feels cool is actually the point where you're going to get the most sunburnt. So that's when you need to.
Yes.
Because you stay out in the sun.
Those kind of overcast days in the summertime, like in the morning, you're like, oh, this is fine. Then all of a sudden you're roasted.
And his last piece of advice, and this is adorable because he doesn't know how to spell it very well, is because he's not English,
Okay.
is, and he spells this word CECK. Check, check, and check again.
Check, check, check again.
Check, check, and check again.
CECK. That's how he spells the word check.
Again. Yeah, that's how it's spelled.
Check,
Because of the Italian C, it's pronounced differently in different ways.
I should learn that
Yes, you should.
as I go on my path to secondary passportdom in the great nation of Italy. We need to talk about that offline too, because
do.
I have some updates on that.
What about you? What piece of advice did your father give you that you still follow to this day?
So this is the one I remember the most. And in hindsight, I want to go like, was he being mean? But
Probably.
it's also very helpful. One thing I remember the most that my father used to say to me was, if you're going to talk that much, you better not be boring. So that is something I've always kind of kept in the back of my mind when I'm going on about a story, where I'm like, hold on. In my brain, mentally, there's a check where I'm like, look at your audience, look at their faces. Is anybody zoning out?
Is this
Am I
like
losing them?
hidden information for me? Because my dad used to tell me that I talk because I have a mouth. As in, I have nothing useful or interesting to say.
Oh, maybe I was being a little more guided, but
Mine was not
yeah,
subtle. It's
I
not
think they were
subtle.
both
It's still
saying,
not.
both
Stop
fathers
talking
were
so
kind of
much, you're
saying
a
the same
little annoying.
thing. If you're
probably
going to
would've got
talk that
on.
much, you better not be boring. And I was like, wait, are you saying I'm boring? And me as an overthinker, 10-year-old me, or whoever I was when I first heard that, who knows? But so that was that.
Okay.
I love that I took my glasses off just in time to have to read something again. So now I need you to. Oh no, well you know what? I was going to make a thing about like suspend your veganism for a second, but I realized I'm talking about pets, so it's not like you're not treating the animal poorly. If anything, you're treating the animal even better. So, what I would like to know, Fran, this is a 2-part question. You have to give me 2 answers.
Okay.
If you could have any animal as a pet or as a companion, you get 1 practical one and 1 impractical one. What would they be?
Any of them practical?
That's
What do you mean by
what we're not going to get into.
impractical?
That's what we're not going to get into. Meaning, like, for instance, impractical would be like a saber-toothed tiger, or something that's clearly not something you could. Okay,
Dustin
go ahead.
will know the answer to this for me. Dustin?
But I'm asking you.
Yeah, but he'll know my answer. Answer for me. So you are answering for me. I'm allowed to have 2 pets, 1 practical and 1 impractical, whatever I want in the world. What do I choose?
That fluffy white dog that you like,
Okay.
and an elephant.
Okay. What about like a mousey?
Well, you only had 2.
I
This is
love
the part where
mousies.
Fran and her partner just talk amongst themselves, and we pretend it's a podcast.
Okay. So he's not wrong. So a dog, boringly, but a specific type of dog, and they're adorable, and they're the types of dog that I grew up with, and we had
Okay.
when I was growing up, and they're called Italian Maremma sheepdogs. They're big, white, fluffy things.
Really?
Yeah, gorgeous Maremma sheepdogs. Oh,
And what prevents you from having one now?
they're really hard to get hold of because they're
Oh.
very rare. There's not many that breed. The people that used to breed them, that we would get them from, don't do it anymore, and they were really nice ones. And also, they're really big, and I don't have space for one. Like they
Got
need
it.
a lot of space, and we don't have. I don't have it. It's not. I don't have enough space. But they're
Okay.
so good. They're such good dogs. They're so lazy and snuggly. They're gorgeous. They're the most gorgeous. And an elephant, a baby elephant.
Ooh. Baby elephant, though, like baby pigs, they become full size.
Yeah, but I want to
Pigs.
see elephants for real. African
Yeah.
elephants. I want to see a baby
I think a lot of people, especially in recent months, would go like, "Ooh, a pygmy hippo sounds great" because of little Miss Mudang. You know Mudang, right? The little pygmy hippopotamus that was born like in Korea or something, and it's all. Really, you don't know who Mudang is?
No.
Oh my gosh, they did a Saturday Night Live skit about Mudang because I know you watch Saturday Night Live so much on your Saturday nights in the UK. So,
How about you, Carlo? What would you have?
well, what's funny is, so I let social media kind of roll into my
Sorry.
brain a little bit
Mm.
because my practical animal also might be a little impractical, but I follow a guy who fosters, who runs a rescue in Australia. So he actually has these animals all around his property and in his house. So my practical animal that I would like to have is a wombat.
Okay, pretty
Have you
impractical, but
seen
okay.
them? They're adorable.
You're
I follow this
adorable.
guy on Instagram. He's got one. He's called Rocco, and he's got a couple other ones. And they
Have
just
you seen Elmo and Rocco?
no. What's
Oh
that?
my God. I love Elmo. You know Elmo
Of course.
from Sesame Street.
Yes.
So he has a nemesis called Rocco, who's a rock, and he really hates Rocco. And there was there's just loads of Sesame Street skits of him and Rocco, and everyone's just he's the only one who like believes that Rocco isn't a real animate object and it's just a rock, and everyone treats it. And he went on the chicken shop sketch, whatever it was, and the girl was like, "Oh, I've got a note for Rocco," and he's like,
Oh, that's great. Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, that's really nice work.
I'll have to look that up.
"It's really funny."
Elmo and Rocco.
I love
When I'm done
Elmo.
editing this tonight, I will check that out.
Anyway, so Rocco the wombat.
Yes. He doesn't have to be called Rocco. He can be called whatever he wants. But a wombat. They're adorable. And they run around like little, and the guy has a little like 4-year-old, 5-year-old daughter, and she's always picking it up and giving it milk, and it's just like, oh, I want a wombat.
I love bunnies too.
Oh yeah. I don't know what it is about bunnies that I don't. You know, the cool thing about bunnies is they don't make like when they poop, it's like those little
But they still poo
like,
and they chew stuff. They chew
raisins.
through wires.
Yes.
You can have house bunnies,
Yes.
but then they chew through wires.
Someone in my family recently just paid like $2,000 to have some wiring in their vehicle repaired because of rodents chewing on it.
Oh, that happens.
Yes. For some reason, there's a story about them being drawn to the soy-based sheathing on the wiring that they're... Anyway,
Didn't know it was soy
Internet.
based.
my impractical pet, very impractical, also because they don't live in captivity. They always seem to die.
Oh wait,
What-
Dustin has just walked into the room to talk to me.
Okay.
What?
Hold on.
Use through the wires, you get it.
Clearly it's the Fran show. I'll just stand
You
here.
choose through the wires, you get it free.
Yeah, no charge.
No
Doo-doo-doo.
charge. Oh god.
What happened? Was there a dad joke in there?
Yeah, there was a dad joke.
What's it? Well, tell us the dad joke.
Dustin, come here and tell the joke.
No,
No, I don't want to be responsible. Come.
now I have to fake laugh.
I,
Hello, Dustin.
I just said that if the bunny chews through the wires, you get it for free because no charge.
Thank you. Someone appreciates me.
Take a bow. The dog dad coming in with the joke. Gotta like that. My impractical animal, and then we'll wrap this baby up. And again, not only would it not be a good idea, but also they have proven to not be able to live in captivity.
Elephants
would
can't live
be
in
a-
captivity.
Would be a great white shark. I would love to have a great white shark as a pet. And I would come out of my little house next to the aquarium thing, and it would come swimming up to me all excited and put his little face out like, oh, because he knows I have like chicken or something for him.
Great white shark.
So a great white shark. That would be my impractical. I feel like
Mine
a
are
great white shark
cuter.
is something that like a drug dealer in Central America would try to have as a pet. And
Mm.
then his handlers would be like, sir, you don't understand. It's with the electrical impulses coming out of the top of their head. They can't live in containment like this. And the sharks would keep dying. And then the drug dealer would keep murdering like the zookeepers thinking it's their fault.
I love elephants, but I don't know if I'd have one as a pet. Like, I feel like I want a small rodent, like a chipmunk or something that would sit on my shoulder. And
I think
maybe it's not.
alligator would be fun too.
Maybe it's not the impracticalness of the animal itself, but perhaps it's the expected behavior of the animal, like a little mouse that would just sit on my shoulder and be my best friend.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I
Right.
would like that. I think that would be cool. And then it would sit on the. Basically, I'm going back to the pets of childhood.
Understood.
And
Understood.
miceys.
I part of me would love to have like a little tiny dog that could like fit in my jacket
Cute.
and we could
That's just a
walk
mouse,
around
but yeah.
together. And that's what you have with your little palm, right?
Yeah, she's so cute.
But I'm like,
She's
but I also
such
don't
an
like
idiot.
little dogs. I can't.
Meet her. You'll meet her next year. She's adorable.
Okay.
She doesn't yap. She doesn't bark. She does if someone knocks at the door because she's a dog. But like, she doesn't walk down the street yapping. She's got a good bark. It's like rough. It's not like. She's
Yes.
so cute. She's so sweet.
I know,
She's
Fran.
really anxious. So you'll
I know.
like her. She's not.
I'm in
she's
the market. I went and met a new dog this past weekend, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Gotta get it right.
Not quite ready yet for another dog, but I'm looking. I'm
Yeah.
looking.
Shopping.
I'm also looking forward to the episode being over because I got to go run my 3K of Christmas
I've got to go to bed.
and you have to go to bed. Episode 24 of the Fran and Carlo Get OCR.
Yeah,
Jason. We talked about things. We talked about other things. We had some thoughts. Was it our best episode? Who's to say?
I'll get drunk
It all
next time.
edits
It'll be more
together.
fun again.
We'll fix it in post, as they say in the industry.
Please do.
We will. All right, Fran. Well,
This is fun.
let's do it again next week.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.